Hey everyone, welcome back to Painted Studio. I hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. We are back in the studio working. I'm finishing up the desk you saw me working on last week. We're going to do the last of the stenciling and repair a gouge in it that happened when we turned it upright. So then we're going to move on from there. We'll talk about the repairs, all of that sort of stuff. Hey Tony, nice to see you here, yay! All right, as you can see, my tall assistant is hanging out in the background. We're actually waiting for a piece of his furniture to be delivered. So I'm gonna scroll this camera down. Now, I gotta open up my iPad so I can see what you guys see. Just a second to scroll here. Oh, come on. Open up. Turn my. I hope you all see. Got to turn my volume down because I don't need to hear me that much. All right, so let's do that. Hi, Tony. And I'm sorry. Hi, Maddie. I said hi to Tony already. Sorry about that. Okay, so I used this stencil so many times on this that I actually broke some of the bridges in here, which for the undercolor is not a big deal, but I don't want these big holes and folded bridges and stuff on my final look. So I grabbed a fresh one. Again, this is our Batik stencil. And because I'm a genius, I sprayed the adhesive on the wrong side. Give me just a second. So I took a little bit of spray glue, 3M, Elmer's, whichever. Gave it a light coating, and now I've got to let it sit for a while because right now it's wet and it will leave deposits on my surface that I really don't want. Nobody wants gluey deposits, so the way you get rid of that is to spray lightly and let it sit for a few minutes. I know everybody's laughing at me because God knows I couldn't do this right the first time, but you all know me. By the way, it's like 1,000,000 degrees in my studio right now with 2 air conditioners going, so I'll last as long as I can right now because I'm about to roast. All right, let's see how that's doing. And we've got our pale gold faux metal in the box, in the thingy already. Now I got to put my glasses back on so I can see to line this up, but my nose was perspiring, so my glasses were sliding. All right, let's try this again. All right, so the first thing, and this is only complicated for the very first one because you have to line everything up right the first time and then shift. Okay, so I've got my stencil placed where it needs to be, and then I'm going to take it and shift it. I got a fly buzzing around here that's gonna make me crazy. And I'm shifting it up and to the left just about 1/4 of an inch at the most. And so I'm gonna shift that. Gotta make sure everything's laying where it's supposed to, because then after that, the stencil itself will have given me the easy marks to move things around. So again, we're gonna take a little gold faux metal on a brush. Now, I use this side to the black, so I'm going to turn it right over and use it to massage the gold into the brush. Again, we're only using a little bit because if you super saturate your gold, it will seep under everything. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, there's some stuff we should be telling you about Facebook and stuff that's going on right now. They're changing the way their algorithms are working. So we cannot ask for sprinkles, shares, distribute. They are looking for us to use those words, and when we do use them, they cut back our distribution through the algorithms. So we can't ask you to do that, but we certainly do appreciate it when you do. They're also changing, I don't know if you've noticed this already, but they want you to interact with each other more than the page. So that when you see a page comment, sometimes you'll be answering it and you'll be answering somebody else instead of the question. And that's because Facebook is doing this thing where they, again, want to have you interact more with each other. And it is wacko the way this is going. They're really working hard to take small businesses out of Facebook and limit our exposure because Facebook wants to be more social media. The only thing is they set us up to be a business media too. So we're still figuring it all out. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. How you get notified may eventually change. We may have to work on some different systems. And also, just want to let you know, we are now fully back up, putting classes on the schedule. So if there's a class on the schedule and you don't see a date for it, that means you can choose any date you want and have a private full class. If you come in for a full classroom experience, it will be on a set date. And we can do that for you. All of our classes, if they're more than 2-hour classes, we supply you with meals, meaning we give you breakfast and lunch. We have hotels and stuff close by if they're 2-day classes. So there's lots of fun opportunities to come and take a class with us, even if you're not local. We make it worth it for you to come in. And remember, when you think about the price of a class, if you go, oh gosh, that's expensive, remember, this is an investment in your business. So, stupid fly, go away. We had the doors open trying to cool things off and get air moving. That didn't help. All it did is bring in the flies. So if you're interested in learning, we're back up for classes. People who are fully vaccinated here in the state of Illinois, we can host you for a class unmasked. So that's a pretty cool thing. However, if you are not fully vaccinated, you gotta wear a mask. That's the rules. So we've got lots of good things, and we're going to be doing great holiday gift classes, epoxy pouring classes. You'll be able to make things, cast things, make cups. So we're going to make some pretty cool stuff. All right, let's pull this up. Okay, so as you can see, let me zoom in because I didn't let mine dry enough. You might see little, let me see if you can see them, little white dots right in here. That is spray adhesive. That's why you want to let your stuff stay and dry for a little while first. I didn't let mine cure enough. For me, it's not a big deal. I'll wait until this whole thing is dry. I come back, I roll it off, and then I touch it up if it needs any touch up. But it's always good to know how not to do something dumb like that, which is wait for this to dry longer. All right, now I'm going to put this on here. Actually, what I want to do, let's see if we're drying. Actually, I'm going to switch this side over here. Well, I need to stay where you all can see me. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm trying to not smear anything because foam metal doesn't dry quickly. And I want not to smear it. I want to get the stencil stuck down. I want you to see what's going on, what I'm going to be doing. So we're continuing this pattern all over the surface. Now, if you look up in here, and maybe you can see down along here, there's some smears, there's some stencil marks. Tomorrow, after I fix this little gouge right here tonight, I'll come back and lightly sand the surface and repaint the black edges to correct my mistakes. Yes, there are ways I could have done this to prevent it, but sometimes that just feels like too much work for me. I know that's silly, but it's true. Sometimes I just want to get it on, get it in there, and my cleanup's actually faster than all the crazy things that I've done to prevent taping. I mean, I could have taped a whole line right along there. It would have been fine. I didn't. So I take a little sandpaper on this edge right in here and right up here because I stenciled right over, so I created a little bit of texture here. I'll sand it down a little bit, and then I'll paint it over It'll all be painted. You know, the black will be touched up. It'll all be fresh, looking gorgeous, like always. This is one of my favorite things to do. Now, everybody has their tricks. Now, if somebody's a tidier person than me, can't stand to have to do what I'm going to do tomorrow, tape it off. Tape it off, make it nice and clean, make it perfectly tidy. For me, when I tape things off, I end up making other messes that I have to clean up. I am much better going freehanding, kind of planning things out and cleaning up behind than I am if I do perfect tape offs beforehand for something like this. That is not an end-all be-all statement, because God knows I've done a lot of other things that I have taped off like a maniac to get it flawless. Just not doing that on this. Why? Because the whole look is sort of rustic. Batik has a rustic look. So while it's this cool mid-century modern batik kidney bean shape, it lends itself really nicely to sort of a rough pattern style on here. Okay, so I'm gonna move this back just a little bit. Sorry, I'm gonna bang it on some table leg so that you can see what I'm doing over here. Ooh, sorry for the bobble. I hate that bobbling. Yeah, Tony, you're like me. You'd rather sand than tape. You know what? I have taped for years and years and years on projects. God knows. I hate it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that, oh, I find that part of this so zen. I don't. I hate taping. It is like, I generally don't like sanding either, but when I have to sand a lot, but this is light sanding, so it makes no difference. Now I'm shaking my jar again to making everything. And again, this is not the jar this stuff comes in. This is the jar that I transferred it in because I dropped the other jar and it cracked. This comes, you can buy these in 16. This is faux metal. Pale gold, you can buy this in 16 and 32 ounces. You might be able to buy an 8. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Buy the smallest jar that you need. Why? Because as you saw, it separates, but it also, once that liquid stuff starts to dry, it gets chunky. You can see a little chunks in there. And you cannot mix this with other stuff and have it re-wet. So you have to use it as it is in the jar, even when it's dried out, which, by the way, makes a very cool rub and buff style product without it being waxy, so you don't have any problems if you need to paint over it. But there is no thinner that actually works for this product, trust me. For years, I've been working with Faux Effects, and we've worked to try to find something that thins this, that doesn't do funny things, and guess what? There isn't anything. So you can't thin this down any more than it already comes in the jar if you want to put it through a sprayer. You cannot thin it down to make it a wash. You can't add water to it, you can't add alcohol, and you can't add mineral spirits. None of those things are the appropriate thinner. This is one of those funky, weird products. For the fact that it's water-based and you can wash it, it is not something you can thin with water without causing, because this has real metal in it, has brass in it, you'll cause the brass to turn green. If you do it with the aluminum, it doesn't turn green, it can turn blackish though. It gets very dull and pewtery looking. I've done all of this the hardest way possible, learning these things and then calling Faux Effects and having conversations, because, you know, I figure I'll try before I ask. Let me just make myself a little crazier than I already am. So I hope everybody had a fabulous... Oh, you use a nail drill, you got it for cheap? That's good. That's good. I have nail drills and stuff like that too. I just do what I need to do. And as you can see, as I do this, the values are a little different. So more black here, a lot more gold here, some more black in that one. You know, it's just how these sort of things line up. I'm gonna go and do this end because I like to, since faux metal takes a little while to dry, I like to bounce back and forth, giving things a chance to be a little drier when I set the stencil down. It just works better that way. Let's make sure I got that lined up. There we go. All right, we're gonna do this row, and then I'm going to show you how I fill small dents and divots and stuff like that, because that's a very good trick to know and very useful. Because I don't, unless I have to rebuild a leg like I did earlier on the bottom of this, I don't tend to use a lot of plastic, wood, or any of the other stuff to fill in grain. I use products that actually help blend what I'm doing. All right, let me get this last little bit done. I already stenciled over onto this part here, I can see, because I was too busy talking and trying to get my point across. This is what happens when you're a big mouth. You're such a big mouth that you forget to pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, these were supposed to be cool lights that I'm sitting under, and I'm telling you, they're not. The top of my head is on fire. Okay, there we go. So there's that. Hey, Tor, please, could you go over there, get me a credit card, money key, whatever. It's in the bin, right next to my desk chair in the shelves. My son is going over to get me the product I need to do the repair, and then we're gonna call it a day. Thank you, perfect. So I got an old hotel room key, which is always great. And what I use to fix gouges and fill in grain is a Faux Effects Venetian Gem. Now it comes in a ton of colors, so I can usually get something that's close to what I'm doing, so I'm not putting a light color that I then have to paint over and over and over and over and hope I get it to match. Hey, Tor, you want to get, oh, never mind, I got it. So here it is. I'm using Venetian Gem. It's a synthetic Venetian plaster, 100% acrylic, in onyx for this because table's black, desk is black. I'm going to do the repair. And this just got a little gouge. So I take a little tiny bit on my card, scrape it over there. And then there's a little gouge in the back here, so I'm going to scrape it over that. And if I need to build it up some more tomorrow, I can do that. That's not a big deal. But I don't want to scrape it too tight. I don't want to push it back in and then I don't have my repair. Let me take a quick look to see if I got it over here. Since I wasn't looking, I was talking to all of you. Okay, so this will sand like a dream tomorrow. You won't know that there was any damage there. Sands like a dream, and I can paint right over it with more black set coat. That will take care of that gouge. It's the ideal product for me personally for filling in grain and repairing gouges like that. I find it very durable. Okay, all right, everybody. We're gonna keep this one short today because I am dying in here. Whew. I'm gonna sit here and just fan myself with my stencil for a second. Yeah, it's very hot. It's like 95 out today, so even with the door closed and the AC running, it's hot in here. Okay, so if you have any questions about this technique, obviously you can ask, no problem. I didn't take off some gold paint. Actually, what I think I did is I just scraped some Venetian Gem right over it and buried it. It didn't take it off, it just buried it. So this will change tones when it dries. It'll get a little lighter, but it'll still be a black color that I can work with and then just paint right over, and it's beautiful. But I will sand it down so it's velvet smooth first. I will come back through the edges here and along here and everything and get all of those stencil marks gone, and then we'll top coat it. And I'll get my hair out of my glasses. All right, everybody, thank you for popping in. Like I said, we're gonna keep it short and try to keep it cool today. I need a lot of fluids. Gosh, I'm dying. Okay, so a few other things before I forget. Don't forget that we have a YouTube channel. So if you're having trouble finding videos on Facebook, you can usually find them even easier on YouTube. I still have a lot to download, but there's a lot of videos on our YouTube channel. Also, if you're a regular, you like to shop with us, you like my products, you like what you're getting here, make sure when you go to our website, paintedstudio.com, you sign up for emails. I don't send out a lot of emails. I mean, everybody who knows this can tell you, you do not get a ton of emails from me. So when you do get an email from me, it's usually for a special. And there are specials that you only get through our emails. We don't put, if you get a special email discount, it's going to say special email discount. So if you're not signed up for it, you'll miss a sale. All right, let me see what somebody else just popped in. Have a great, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm going to go sit in front of an air conditioner and cool off because I am roasting. Have a great one, everybody. Again, happy reminder, sign up for emails. We send you sale coupons, sale discount codes that you do not get when you're watching us live. They won't be on Facebook. They are strictly for our email customers. All right, everyone, have a great day. We'll see you back tomorrow. Stay cool. I know I'm going to try.